All right, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to Football Unfiltered. We have a heavy show tonight. So we 96 days away from the World Cup. So we call it the danger zone because anything can happen. Obviously, guys, form can dip. Also, the biggest elephant in the room is injury. So the key is, are you preparing for March, or you try to get healthy when you come back to when you come to June? So we're gonna debate that tonight. Also, we had the Champions League, so we're gonna little talk about the Champions League. And one last conversation we want to talk about is the generational gap. So it's a great conversation. So we get into it. So before we dive in into the different topics. So I want to welcome my co-host Alain Leveillé. How you doing?
I'm doing great, coach. How about yourself?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Great to have you. Also, I have Alex here. Alex, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Good to see you guys. So, just like I said earlier, we 96 days away from the World Cup. And we have some injuries. Rodrigo from Real Madrid uh, got injured towards the ACL. I know Serginho Dest also got hurt today, and is a fear that he might miss the World Cup. So obviously, and you have Neymar try to get back in shape so he can make the Brazil team. So, from your perspective, guys, what are the things that concern you? Obviously, you guys are fan of the sports. What are the main things that concern you now that we're 96 days away from the World Cup? Ale, I'm going to start with you first.
Yeah, I think it's a reality. I'm a big Brazilian fan. Losing Rodrigo is a big hit. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yes, Real Madrid is gonna feel it, but most likely Brazil's gonna feel it too. And right now we're in a position where, what are we talking about? Are we gonna prioritize club performance over country performance? The World Cup, obviously, this year it's a big deal. It's a big issue, and I'm worried that now we start, you know, how can I say that? The word load management that we hear often in basketball, and we always criticize some players that do it. And
Mm-hmm.
now I feel like right now, okay, we only get to play a World Cup once every 4 years. I mean, how much do we really need to go all hands on deck in April? Because the World Cup is in 96 days. We need our top players to be in shape. So I'm worried. I'm worried because a lot of big names are hurt. Mbappe is hurt. Rodrigo was hurt. We have other players that you mentioned that are hurt. Dembele is hurt. And those players are key players for their national teams. So for me, it's starting to be a concern.
So so the thing is, Ale, the clubs are the one paying those guys big monies, right? So
Yep.
those guys, they work for the teams, but I agree with you. Obviously, the times, 96. When you think about it, 96 days is a little bit over 3 months, right? So there's a lot of things that could happen, but like I said, there's no, I don't know, there's no right way to do it. You just play and hope for the best. So so Alex, what are the things that you think that as you like the national coaches, what are the things that they should be looking for, especially right now? And you got to think about it. We are in the thick of the season now, right? Because we're Champions League is eating up. The end of the seasons. That the seasons also it's eating up. So what as an international coach, and you know that you guys you got to do a good performance, and then your players are playing in the big leagues. What are the things that you should be looking for as a as an international coach getting ready for the World Cup?
Well, I think that all these international coaches, they have a format that they're looking for, a specific way that they'll be looking for the players that will be playing in the next World Cup. And I think one part of that will be time. It will be the time that players are playing spending on the field. I think that's a big factor. If you really think about it, no one who goes to the World Cup, most of the times it's big names for the country. It's not just players who um who play within the country and get no playing time, but it's players who make up in Europe or wherever it might be and play very well. So I think it's going to be that, and including these injuries, it's going to be very difficult, especially Rodrigo. He's out for the whole season, so he's missing the World Cup. So he's guaranteed not going to the World Cup. But we have others like Usman Dembele and Mbappe who will recover before the World Cup. But they've already played a very good amount this season so far. So it's pretty much guaranteed to them to go to the World Cup. But other players won't who who have been injured and not getting playing time at the same time, it's guaranteed that they might not be going to the World Cup.
Right.
Um, yeah.
No, I think the thing is, with Rodrigo, we know exactly, he tore his ACL. We know we're not gonna get back. But I think the tricky part of that, right? Like, the names like Dembele and Mbappe, a lot of times, as an athlete, when you're hurt, you try to get back as soon as possible. And sometimes you carry a lot of lingering injuries, right? So I think the risk of that is, yes, you might say, yeah, they might be ready for the World Cup, but they might not be ready for the World Cup because they might come back too soon and then get hurt again. Now they're gonna be out for an extended time. So I think there's no right or wrong answer. I think some part you want those guys to play, so they can be game fit, right? But at the same time, as an athlete, you don't play to think that you're gonna get hurt, right? So injury is a part of the game, but you don't play with that fear, saying that, oh man, I don't want to push myself too hard because I might get hurt and I need to be ready for the World Cup. I don't think those guys are thinking that way. I think the way they're thinking is, I need to get back on the field as soon as possible. But I think it's the people like us, the fans, we be like, man, can you just chill out for the next 3 months so you can be ready for the World Cup? But athletes, they don't think that way. They don't think they're gonna get hurt. They just gotta go through the preparation and be ready to play. Alain, you want to say something?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. But I think honestly, you have to be very strategic and very careful on the type of players that you have and the role that they play within your roster, right? There are players that, because of your system, you cannot afford to lose. Dembele, who plays in the midfield, you cannot afford to lose that guy. Mbappe, who puts a lot of pressure on any team's defense, right? He's the one of the fastest strikers that we have. You cannot afford to lose Mbappe. Um, in the case of Brazil, for example, we know Rodrigo plays forward, right? But I think Brazil probably has a larger bench of players that they can leverage in that position. And we've
Yeah,
seen that several years for multiple World Cups when we had a roster, we thought we're gonna participate in the World Cup, and then one player got injured, and then they couldn't go to the World Cup, and that happened. I think there was a year when I don't know if it was Romario and was hurt, and they added that other player. Was it Ronaldo? I don't know. I'm not sure. You
no,
can
you're
go
right.
back.
It was Romario. Romario was supposed to go, and he was supposed to go in the '98 World Cup.
Correct.
And yeah, because he was winning everything with Brazil, the Copa
Y-
America, and
Yes.
then he had a little injury. He hurt his hamstring, I mean, 2 weeks before the World Cup, and he was supposed to recover on time, but they decided to go with Bebeto and that World Cup, and Brazil end up losing
In
the
the
final
finals, though, they were.
against France. Yeah,
Yeah, against France. So that tells you that those kind of incidents happen.
yeah,
In the case of Brazil, there's so many talented players out there. I think Brazil could. I mean, they will find someone, but at the end of the day, it's really up to the team. I think, for example, in the case of Haiti, you know, we need to be very careful of our, who we have and who we may lose. I think our top players need to be well protected because I don't think we have a large bench of players that can go to a World Cup today and are ready to go tomorrow. So it depends on the team. It depends on the system that you have in place. I'm not familiar with Germany but I know the countries like Argentina, they have players. There's a lot of players I think that can step up tomorrow and fill out a gap. But it depends on the role that player plays and the player that you lose. So I think that's the conversation that those international coaches are having today. Who can we afford? Who should be protected? Who must be there? If you have a
I,
player that must win the World Cup, that player must be protected at
I
all
don't.
costs.
It can protect them as long as they play for the clubs. They
No,
cannot protect them, man. I mean,
it's a
I think.
wish. It's a wish. They're praying
Yeah,
that
yeah.
this guy doesn't get
I
hurt.
think I
Yeah.
think I think for the coaches, I think what they gotta do is they need to looking at the depth of the roster. So this is the perfect opportunity that they can look in at different scenarios. So if I lose this guy, who do I have that I can replace? So that's where you have to looking at the depth of the roster because you might have everybody healthy going into the World Cup. And the weeks preparing for the World Cup, somebody might get hurt. I mean, we've seen that. We see people getting hurt in the preparation when the team is doing the concentration and then they have to replace them, right? So I think right now, from an international coach, it's to try to looking at the depth of the roster, who you want to call, and and who you want, and then use the friendlies and a couple friendlies you're gonna play to kind of test some player out. But at the end of the day, it just the clubs own the rights of the players. So if the clubs the clubs also want to win, unless they they have nothing to play for. But the clubs want to win, so they're gonna play their best players, and usually those best players are the best players for the country. So yeah, I agree with you. Speaking of Haiti, I'm kind of glad that our guy Nazon was able to
Yeah.
get out safely. So that's good to hear. But and we also hope that other players from other countries get the opportunity to be safe as well too, under those sad circumstances going on right now. But anyway, now we're talking about injuries, so let's flip it. So right now, who's in form right now? Who is tearing up the leagues right now? So who you think that right now, if the World Cup starts today, those guys will be the guys to be focused on if the World Cup, because their form is top notch. Let's start with you, Alan.
Well, I mean, it looks like to me, Bradley Barcola is playing quite well. We have João Pedro, who's stepping up and trying to keep up with the pace. So there's some players that I'm seeing in Real Madrid with Mbappe being out. I mean, obviously Vinicius is always there making a difference. We have Bellingham who's out, but we've seen Alex talks about this player Valderrami, right? What's his name? Val from Real Madrid.
Valverde. Valverde.
Valverde.
Valverde. Yeah,
Yeah.
this guy has been stepping up and been pretty consistent from Madrid. So yeah, they're players. I think it's a great opportunity for those players to actually step up and show what they have.
Yeah.
Yes, the stars may not be playing today, but if those other players can fill out the gap and show what they can do, they could be a surprising factor for those other teams. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing on my end.
So for you, Alex, who you think that is playing the best football right now?
Um, I think right now the player who's playing the best football is gonna have to be Vinny Jr. I mean, might be controversial, but he's been on form for Real Madrid. I think Ousmane Dembele was doing pretty good. Even he was better last season than he is this season for sure. But I think he's been doing pretty well. We have players like Fabian Ruiz. He's been doing pretty well for PSG. And then we have Lamine Yamal, obviously. Scored his first hat trick. Um, we have we have players all across, especially um the English the English players. Bukayo Saka has been playing amazing. And then we just have a very diverse um bunch of players who have been playing very well through the course of the season. Yeah. And I think most of them are in for the run to be called up for their national team. Yeah.
Yeah. The guy that is, I mean, he's been very impressive. He was hurt and then he got back. Pedri. Pedri is playing amazing, man. He's outstanding. I mean, he it just the way he holds the midfield, the way he makes things look so effortless. I mean, this guy, it's unreal, man. So it's good to see him back because obviously we are full fans first. Like we like to see beautiful football. We like to see great things happening. And if you love football, you gotta love Pedri. I mean, the way this guy play, it's just like very romantic the way he plays, man. I mean, he does everything. He just so good. So, and I think like you said, I think Lamine Yamal, Vini, those guys are playing really well as well. Uh, but right now, I don't see anybody tearing up Europe right now. There's no guy like you'd be like, oh my god, I can't wait this guy for to go to the World Cup because it's gonna be problematic. So I think everybody tried to play certain level and then try to like and then I think it goes along with all the injuries that we have, especially with Mbappe be out, Dembele be out, but nobody's really is taking those leagues by storm and be like, man, I can't wait this guy to go to the World Cup because they're gonna tear it up. If we're looking at back in the days like when Ronaldo and Messi when they were playing the prime Neymar when they're in their primes, I mean those guys were tearing up the leagues. You'd be like, man, I can't wait for those guys to go to the World Cup. They're just gonna tear it up in the World Cup. So, but anyway, so you never know. So people might be saving themselves. They probably be listening to Ale advice and say, "Hey, let me try to save myself for the World Cup." So I'm just gonna go halfway. So me as a former athlete, I don't think they think that way because as an athlete, you're just gonna go play and do your best. So I don't think they think that way. They just need to get back on the field as soon as possible. But anyway, we have Champions League going on. So we got some pretty good matchups. So we have Chelsea gonna be playing PSG. So just like we had in FIFA World Club. So what your prediction for uh this time, Alain? I know you're a PSG guy. Were you happy to draw Chelsea in that game?
I think it's gonna be a great game. But unfortunately, I'm a little bit anxious for PSG with because we just talked about injuries. We have Dembele who's hurt, Doué who's hurt, João Neves who's hurt. Those are I think key players on the team that do play that have a significant role and a major impact on the team. So I feel like that puts Chelsea, PSG in a weaker position. I'm not saying that the players that are going to replace them are not going to do the job, but it's going to be interesting to see how Luis Enrique is going to, have how his game plan is going to change and cover for those players that are not here. So of course, I'm gonna go with PSG because I'm supporting PSG. I like PSG. I like Dembele, but I'm a little anxious. If those guys don't play, um, they're gonna have to be a little bit more aggressive. They're gonna have to control the midfield. They will have to stop Chelsea from controlling the wings. That way, they don't always suffer goals. And because if you go back and you see how Chelsea dominated the game, man. When they played last time and at the World Cup, Chelsea came across very aggressive earlier on. They dictated the rules and the tone of the game. PSG was never able to get back on point for 90 minutes. So I hope that Luis Enrique will come with a better game plan and try to counterattack whatever Chelsea has, in mind for that game. But I'm picking PSG, but I'm cautiously optimistic about their, probability of them winning that game.
Yeah. So one too, Chelsea doesn't have the coach that they had in the FIFA World Cup. So so we'll see. It might be a different Chelsea in the game. So Alex, what are the things that obviously last time they played, Chelsea won, but it was a one game. Now this is a 2 game series. So what should be the mindset of Chelsea going into this game?
Well, obviously, they had, like you said, a different manager, Enzo Maresca. And now they have Razanier in the as the manager for Chelsea. I think that's gonna play a key part in this game because first of all, when you think about it, PSG were the champions of Europe. They won the Champions League, and then we had a team like Chelsea going into the finals. Everyone was thinking PSG is going to win this, and then they turned the table. But I think the problem was that PSG was underestimating Chelsea's ability to win the game. What I think is that PSG are going to end up on top because of the way that the new Chelsea manager thinks, and I think that it's gonna be very tight. It's gonna be very tight for both teams to compete against each other. But at the end of the day, PSG is obviously the better team and have the better probability of winning this game. Even though Chelsea won the last one, um, you also have to think of the the players' fitness after PSG had a bit of a longer season. They had more games that they had to play than Chelsea, who weren't in all the major competitions that PSG were in. And I think also Chelsea had a little bit easier of a path, even though they didn't progress as easily as PSG. But I think all these things come into play, and also something that comes into play is there's going to be two legs, so it's going to be a bit of a different game because we don't just have one game. As if one team wins, the other one can notice what the team did in the first game and change up their tactics, or not. It depends. So I think it's going to be a very tight game. Yeah.
So we would like to ask our viewers to kind of drop their prediction for us, between Chelsea and PSG. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win that game? I mean, that series. So please drop a comment, give us your prediction. There's no right or wrong answer. Just give us your prediction, so we can wait to hear from you guys. So now let's go to the second game, uh, which is between Real Madrid and Man City, right? And this is not the first time we're gonna see this match between Real Madrid and Man City. Now, obviously, we talk about the injury with Rodrigo, and Mbappe is still not. They even say that Mbappe might not be ready to play in the first game uh, of that matchup, and we'll see if he's gonna come back for the second game. So obviously, Jude Bellingham has been hurt. Man City, they not the Man City they used to be in the past when they were very dominant, but they still Man City. They still coached by Pep Guardiola, and Pep Guardiola always have a little chip on his shoulder when he play Real Madrid. So Alain, so what do you think? What do you think?
I think it's gonna be a very tough game, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm worried for Real Madrid. I think Manchester City has more to prove. I think now Manchester City, they feel like that's their opportunity. I think
Yeah.
if they can go and beat Real Madrid, they could go all the way. And I feel right now with all the controversy with Real Madrid, with all those players being hurt, they were supposed to be actually dominating La Liga with points. They've lost a couple of games. They're winning games here and there. So it feels like they kind of lost some of the momentum that they had like a month ago going in. So I'm worried about Real Madrid. That doesn't mean that Real cannot win. Obviously, we still have Vinny there. We still have the other players. We have Valverde we talked about. But I feel like Manchester City is gives me the perception that they're hungrier, and I feel like they have something to prove, and they're gonna harness that energy towards Real Madrid and go straight for the kill. So I feel like Manchester City has the upper hand on Real Madrid on both games.
So I know that one of a viewer just asked what time, when is the game between Chelsea and PSG. As a matter of fact, this game is gonna be played this Wednesday, March 11th. So that's the first game of the series. Yes. So just answer a viewer because they asked, when is the game? So it'll be playing this Wednesday. Yeah. So you have a feeling that Man City is just gonna shock the world.
Yes,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, I think I'm not saying one thing about Real Madrid, they when it comes to the Champions League, that's the tournament. Even when on seasons like they were not the best teams, but they always find a way to win it. So I think that they have the advantage when it comes to that. But you're right. I think the Benfica game was very emotional, and just use all that emotions and energy, to get with all the controversy that happened in the game. But and like I said, in Man City, I think the fact that they realize that they're not gonna win the EPL, right? And I feel like Pep Guardiola is his last season for Man City, so I think he's gonna try to go all in and in the Champions League. That's my feeling. But one thing I would say though, that part of the bracket is the hardest part of the bracket. Whereas the other part of the bracket with Barcelona,
Of
I
course.
mean the two teams that are very strong are Arsenal and Barcelona, and they only would meet if they ever play. They only would meet in the semifinal. When you looking at the bracket of Chelsea and PSG, I mean, in that bracket you have Chelsea, you have PSG, you have Bayern in the bracket, you have Man City, you have Real Madrid. So that part of the bracket. It's ridiculous. So we talking about round of 16. I mean, the quarterfinal is gonna be unreal. The semifinal is gonna be unreal. So that bracket is very, very hard. I mean, I think whoever comes out of bracket at that bracket is gonna probably be the winner, or maybe they're gonna be broken by the time they get to the final. And but that I don't know how they do it, how they manage it. But when you're looking at the other part of the bracket, I mean, obviously anything can happen. That's why we play the game. Doesn't mean that Barcelona and Arsenal is gonna get to the semifinal, but the two teams with the pedigree are Arsenal and Barcelona on the other part of the bracket. So Alex, I know you're a Real Madrid fan. How you feeling? What's your take? What's your concerned, or are you confident that Real Madrid's gonna just go and get over the Man City hump?
I think that Man Man City will not prevail again. Once more, I don't think they're gonna make it. I think every year, except for the year that Man City won the Champions League, we beat them in the round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, whatever degree. I think it's gonna be us. Especially if we have Mbappe for one of the games at least, then we're obviously gonna win. Remember what he did to Guardiola last year. And then I think obviously when you look at the other side of the bracket, it looks like a Europa League bracket. It does not look equivalent to the other side. It's not. I personally think that wasn't fair. But it is what it is. The left side is like the side of doom, and then the other side is just it's just a bunch of rainbows and lollipops flowing around for Arsenal and Barcelona. I think that's gonna be key in the finals for sure when you think about it, because we have one side that's gonna have a great side, because obviously whoever wins on the left side is gonna win, and then whoever wins on the right side, oh, they're gonna get second place no matter what. Because I
Because of
mean it
what?
depends. It depends.
Because of what?
Because they could be Barcelona could be winning 5-0 against Newcastle, and then they just make it, and then they have an easy way through, and then the other team that's been getting beaten down by Man City, PSG, Bayern Munich, whichever team, it's gonna be hard. But I don't think Arsenal are gonna make it out of this one. I don't know. I think
So,
they're gonna choke.
so I don't
Uh,
understand. I don't understand your logic, man.
I think Arsenal are you have to understand the
No,
logic.
I
there's
don't
no.
Arsenal
understand the
I
logic
don't
either.
understand your logic, man. I mean, I don't
Arsenal
understand
are
your.
gonna choke. Barcelona are gonna make it all the way through, and then PSG is they're gonna they're gonna make it to the semifinals. All right, we're gonna say that, and then we're gonna say that Real Madrid wins the Champions League again. And then they're gonna make it 16. But I think we're gonna see an El Clasico final. That's my prediction.
So
That
my
would be amazing to see.
one thing I want to add to Alex, my prediction earlier was based on the fact that if Mbappe doesn't play, you have the same players, but without him, I think that's where I feel like the odds of Real Madrid winning the game will be lower. Like you need Mbappe to win. That's what I'm trying to say. You're not gonna
You
play
have
against Man
Brahim
City
Diaz.
and win without Mbappe. That's what I think. I think if you don't have Mbappe, you're gonna lose. That those are my predictions.
Yeah. Mbappe
Yeah,
single-handedly brung PSG through last time, like against Barcelona. So I think obviously right now we're playing with Brahim Diaz in center forward, that which doesn't make any sense. Um, I don't know what Arbeloa is trying to do. I think he's just trying to make sure that Vinny becomes good, I guess. I don't know, because Vinny has been on fire, but as a team, Real Madrid hasn't been performing, and it's been one player, two players, three players performing. Especially to Chouameni. I don't know. He's been doing good, but yeah.
so this game is this Wednesday as well. So this game is this Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. So Real Madrid against Man City this Wednesday. So like I said, uh, as there's huge doubt that Mbappe will be ready for this game. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's funny that Real Madrid won the Champions League without Mbappe. But I think once Mbappe came to the team, I think they re-strategized the team to play around Mbappe. So, and I think that's why, because you'd be like, yeah, they won it without him, so they don't need him, right? But I think the way Real Madrid is playing right now, Mbappe is the key factor of of the team. So I'm with Ali. They need him. They need him to get over the hump. So like I said, I think Man City got something to prove this year. Especially, I think that definitely Arsenal gonna win the EPL this year. I think they're gonna win the EPL this year. But and I think Man City knows that this is Pep last year. They're gonna try to find a way to try to give Pep the Champions League, and they have the players. They have the players to do it. So we'll see. We'll see what's gonna happen. So this is the part that I really want to talk about. So it's the generational gap going on. So Ale, over the weekend, I was talking to some friend about sports, right? And the one thing you hear, so is everybody think that players nowadays are soft, and I'm not talking about soccer, but in every sports. They said that it's not the same players anymore. They don't care about winning. They're soft now, and I feel like our generation, and I'm saying that because you and I are on the same age. I think, and I say our generation and above us too. We like to hold on some stuff. Like we don't want to let go instead of living in the moment. But instead of living in the moment and appreciate, the greatness happening right now, and in the sports. So for me, I wanted, so now I have two different generation. I have my generation and Ali, and then I have Alex generation, who thinks everybody now it's a goat. so so what is it about this generational gap when people always, okay, so let me put it this way. Why Ali, you feel like this new generation is soft?
I feel like this generation is soft because everything for them, it's about the internet. It's about novelty. It's about, reels. It's about going viral. So because you have a player who scored a goal and went viral, oh my God, I'm gonna watch that play for like 2 seconds and I'm gonna decide this is the best player ever. It's
Yeah.
not about durability. It's not about hard work. It's not about commitment. It's not about leadership anymore. Last year we were having a similar conversation with Alex. You know what Alex told us? Oh, I don't have time to watch games anymore. I just go on YouTube and I look at the highlights. I look at the highlights. Bro, I didn't have highlights back in my days. We watched the game. Okay? When we had World Cups, you know what we used to do? We used to tape those games and play them back and watch the entire game. Even till like 5, 10 years ago, coach, we used to watch games after work. You come out of work, you go,
You
you order your
DVR it?
games,
Yeah.
you exactly, and you sit down. I don't want to be bothered for 6 hours,
Yeah.
and you watch all the games. That generation doesn't even appreciate that. You know why? Because all they care about is instant gratification. They want to be recognized right away. They're prima donnas. They are soft. That's what they are, and I agree with our generation about the thing. Now, to be fair, not all of them are soft, but I think the consumers today and what they reward as hard work is not the same. Their standards are different, and that's where I'm having an issue with. I think the generation like Alex, they look at things differently, and then for him, it's like, you know what, I don't want to have to pay my dues. I want it now. I want it today, and that's it. So yeah, I agree with.
So, Alex, what's your rebuttal on that? What? Okay,
Um,
no. Let me put it this way. I don't want you to feel like you have to. It's like you're in the court and then you have to defend it. So, what do you think that my generation? It's the big misunderstanding for my generation looking at your generation.
I don't know. Like that
Why
word
you think?
soft.
Why
I
you
don't
think you
know.
guys are misunderstood? Why you think you guys get labeled all the time?
I'm just
So
saying, like, just because you guys have players that wanted to kill people doesn't mean that we're soft. We're just playing the game how it's supposed to be played. Like, like
man,
it's
that's a
not.
that,
It's not.
that's a big
That's
statement, man.
come on, bro. Like, it's because like you guys always gotta say that, oh, my generation is soft when playing. Oh, like we're always like soft. But it's not soft. It's just like we're playing the game how it's supposed to be played. It's not we're not doing anything extra. We're not making all these extra things, punching people for no reason. Um Taking the ball and putting in your little cleats in with it too. It's just the way we play is different. It's not the game has evolved. It's not the same way how people used to slide tackle with 2 legs, the rules. It's not our fault that the game is soft. It's the rules because we can't do these things anymore. It's not there's no how should I say this? There's no law against being soft. It's just the laws that are placed in there make us soft. It's the way it models the game. Because when you think about it, most of the referees are millennials or older. They it's not their fault even because it's just the way the game is supposed to be played because they made stricter rules. It's not like we're going and we're saying, "Oh, I'm just gonna put my foot over there and not foul him, and I'm just gonna play soft." It's just the rules. We can't do these things anymore. We get fined, you get cards, that suspensions. It's just we rather play the game how it's supposed to be played instead of the extra, the way that you guys wanted to kill people, um, draw blood before ending a game. It's
Eh,
not the same way. It's just
Alex,
we value the game the way it is.
no, 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 no. Hold up, time out. So I, we value the game the same way too. I think one thing that is different nowadays is the business aspect of the game. So I think compared to where when we were watching the game was not that it wasn't such of a big business back then. I mean, I think there was some money in soccer, but now because the game is so global, there's so much business on it, so they have to change it. So one thing too, I agree with you. The game has evolved. I think players nowadays are when you think about from the preparation from what they do from the science from the scientific part of it, the medical part of it, guys now are better than the guys in the 80s because they eat better, uh, they know better about their bodies, and then they take care of their bodies better. I mean, right now when you're looking at soccer players compared to when we were looking at the 80s, I mean, now those guys are ripped, every single one of them. But I don't remember in the 80s, if you're looking at Platini, when he was used to take his shirt off, he didn't look ripped, you know. I mean, but now the soccer players are very, so they understand, how to how to take care of their bodies and stuff like that. But I think because of the business aspect of it, so now they focus more on the business. Now they start making business decision. So they be like, I don't know if I want to do this, or if I want to play with that team, I want to have this chef because this chef gonna give me that type of food because they look at it from a business aspect. And you're right, Alan. I think that the difference between this generation and our generation is the instant gratification because we live in the social media uh, era when everybody wants to be on social media, everybody wants to go viral, and for the right and the wrong reason. And people they don't want to get cross or they don't want to get nutmeg because I might go viral too. So you see both sides, right? Where there's the side that people become famous because they keep dribbling everywhere, and also people can be famous in the wrong way because hey man, for some reason I always see you get people always nutmeg you or people always cross you over and stuff like that. But one thing I would say about our generation, sometimes we need to move on. We need to move on. We stay too much in the past and then we just want to hold on to what we have and don't let go. So I always hear the conversation between, the Kobe's and the LeBron and the Michael Jordan of the world. And just like sometimes I feel like, guys, enjoy Steph Curry, enjoy Kevin Durant, enjoy LeBron James. I mean, enjoy those guys because what those guys are doing are amazing. Let's stop focusing on the Charles Barkley or Pat Ewing of the world and stuff like that. Yes, we appreciate those guys because of those guys. That's why we get those guys we have today. But I think sometimes we need to live in the moment and enjoy those guys. So I think sometimes that's what I see with our generation. We like to hold on to our past so much, and we don't want to accept the present. So Alan, you shaking your head. Anything else you want to add
No,
to this?
no, because you went and you studied with the NBA now. That's a whole different topic because Christopher, my son, thinks that LeBron is the GOAT. I think Jordan is the GOAT. And we go at it all the time. Even when we play basketball against each other,
Yeah.
he cannot play physical like I do because we play physical basketball and he makes fun of me. Bro, I'm playing physical. What am I supposed to do? You wanted me to let you shoot all the time? So it's like those guys can't even play basketball the right way. You look at them. Look at LeBron. He falls all the time. KD, what that KD? What's this? You know what I'm talking about. The guy from Dallas, and he plays. He was AD. He's like, serious man. What's going on? What happened to the NBA? This generation is destroying the NBA. Even
So
When I
President Obama, okay, has something to say about the All-Star game a couple of weeks
man,
ago.
those
Like
guys,
those guys were like a
Ale,
bunch of
Ale,
like,
Ale, Ale,
come on.
Ale,
90s NBA was the best
we played
NBA
basketball.
ever.
We played basketball, and this guy was over here slapping me. That's not part of basketball. We're not doing MMA. I
See?
don't understand why you think that's okay. You slapping people, you bar yo, like you play with your soul. Like you're acting
We're
like
playing defense. That's how you play defense, Alex. You
defense,
gotta be
defense,
strong.
defense isn't putting your legs up and hitting someone while they're trying to take a shot. That's not defense.
This is called street basketball,
That's not
bro.
a
It's not,
deep.
that's how it is. You gotta play
But we're
basketball
not
the
playing
hard way.
street basketball. We were playing normal basketball. We weren't playing that
See?
roly poly basketball. All right, we
See?
were playing normal classical basketball. And you were
Here,
over here bouncing the ball. Oh yeah, I scored. We don't want to see that. Like
so
we're just trying
Alan
to
was
play
playing.
basketball.
Alan was playing dirty, and then you call it
Yes, he was
basketball.
playing dirty. I got like 5 and 1s on this guy. Dirty.
oh my
When I started, he was
God.
playing
Seriously?
dirty. He
That
was
generation,
Oh,
he was
man.
like he was oh he was
so
playing dirty. He was
so
he was,
Alan,
I went up for a layup and he slapped my
so
arm.
Alan got the rules all mixed up, huh?
Exactly. He grabbed me, he tossed me around the whole court. Come
Coach,
on.
coach, we used to play basketball in
Come
high
on.
school. How did we play basketball? Come on, man.
I
Don't
mean, I think so. Let me put it this way: I think we played basketball the way it was played at that time. But it's part the evolution, right? And that's what we knew, right? That's what we knew at the time. So we play just like soccer, right? So the way we play soccer, that's the way soccer was played at the time. Now it has evolved. We have to conform and play the way they play now. That's the way I look at it.
shoot a bunch of threes, like
No,
pass
I
three,
mean,
pass
but
pass
but but
three.
you
Yeah.
think about it, Alan. You think about it, right? So think about when we were young. Think about when we were in high school. When we saw people dunk, it was a big event. We'd be like, "Oh my God, this is crazy!" I mean, even when we were in college, I mean, seeing people dunk was amazing. Now we have middle school the kids that go to middle school, they dunking with ease. I mean, now the kids are so athletic, it's unreal. They're faster, they're stronger than ever. So what I'm saying, and they more skilled. So I mean, yes, you talk about shooting threes, but kids now they shoot threes. I mean, they're more skilled. They're more skilled than they used to be back in the days. I'm not saying that the game it's look better now, but it just like that's the evolution of the game.
The game is boring now, man. Nobody watches the NBA
All
anymore.
right,
Who's
all right,
number one in the
hold
West?
on,
Who's number one in
hold
the
on.
East? Nobody knows.
Is this like is this the NBA now, or are we just changing sports now? Like, I'm kind of
Now we
confused. I just
talking
want to.
we
It's generational.
I just want to
we're
Generational.
say
talking of a generational issue, Alex, man. So he's
Yes.
okay.
talking about
Okay.
the
We're
NBA.
talking about generational.
So we
All right.
digress here. Talking about,
Okay.
but,
Okay.
but I think so. So let me put it this way. I think that yeah, even if we go back to soccer, it was different. It was different back then. Uh, it was different back then, and that's the way we play. I remember, you don't get dribble. If somebody dribble past you, you got to put him down. But that's the way
Mm,
it is. But at the same time, back then, if you would have done that, the ref, it was part of the game. The ref would have talked to you, or it maybe give you a yellow card. Now, if you do it today, they might give you a straight red, and then you out of the game. So that's what I'm saying. So I think that we just the game has evolved, and I think because they understand that the product and people pay a lot of money for the product, the consumer pay a lot of money for it, and they say, hey, if I'm paying that much money to watch, this player needs to be playing. So I don't want to be playing because right now people are losing money because Mbappe is not playing because he's hurt. But when you think about it, if you go to soccer perspective, those guys are playing more games than they used to play back in the 80s and the 90s. Those guys are playing a lot of games now because I think soccer has become a bigger business than it used to be back in the days. So compared to when Diego was playing, when Platini was playing, even early in the 2000, those guys were not playing more than 100 games a season. You know what I'm saying? They were not doing that. Now those guys are playing over 100 games a season. So, I mean, the games has changed. So that's why you see a lot of injuries, even though those guys are fitter than, I mean, think about it. In the past, those people used to go smoke at halftime. I mean, coaches used to be smoke. They used to smoke on the sideline. So a lot of those players they used to smoke in the halftime and go back and play the second half. But I mean, those guys don't do that. I mean, you still got guys that do it, but those guys don't do it no more, right? So you don't see coaches smoking like Marcelo Lippi used to smoke on the sideline, coaching for in Italy. So those guys don't do
Johan
that no
Cruyff.
more. Huh?
Johan Cruyff used to smoke a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah. But those guys don't do that no more. So but one thing I would say though, our generation we like to hold on to stuff. Sometimes we need to live in the moment and enjoy what is happening right now. So that's where I am. I know sometimes it's hard to do, but we just gotta enjoy it. So yes, as Michael Jordan, in my opinion, is the greatest player. And then I'm not saying from what he did on the basketball field, but what he did outside of basketball court. Like he transcended the whole. He's a transcender. I mean, he took back the NBA to a global. I mean, if we get guys in Europe right now, if you get guys coming from Africa, if the game today is that global, is because of Michael Jordan. But I believe that LeBron James is probably the best athlete that we've seen playing basketball. I mean, he's the best athlete to play basketball. I mean, LeBron James is the only person that he was deemed the chosen one when he was in high school and lived up to those expectations. I mean, Michael Jordan had potential when he was in college, but nobody knew Michael Jordan was going to be that Michael Jordan when he went to the NBA. But LeBron James was that guy in high school, went to the NBA. I mean, everybody that went to the NBA with LeBron James, they all retired. And some of them retired a long time ago. And these two still have been triple double at 41 years old. So, I mean, I know this generation get crazy about calling everybody goats. I don't know. That's their favorite word. Everybody's goat. But what we seen in Michael LeBron James, we never. I mean, somebody that big, that big, that tall cannot move the way he moves. I mean, we've never seen that before. So that's what I'm saying. He probably the best athlete to ever play basketball, and the skill that he has with the size, it's unreal. So, but I'm with you. Michael Jordan is the one that the one that transcends basketball. But LeBron James is the best player, the best athlete to ever play basketball, in my opinion. But anyway, it was fun today. So Ali, I'm gonna let you close it out today.
No, I think it was a great show, guys. Thanks again for joining us tonight. Alex, thank you for your input. Coach, the segments were fun. This week we have a lot of great games happening. Real Madrid is playing. We can't wait to see what's going to happen. There's a lot of expectations that are out there. PSG also, like we mentioned earlier, we are hoping that our best players, our stars, are going to be able to get through this period, make sure they remain healthy. Obviously, we want them to perform for their clubs, but also the biggest prize, you guys know what it is. It's going to be in June in the US, the World Cup 2026, only 96 days away. So we're excited for that event. Guys, please stay tuned. We're going to have those sessions every week, trying to get you guys ready for the World Cup. And then have a great week. Best of luck, man. Coach, back to you.
Yep, it was fun. Thank you guys for your time. And also, we appreciate the viewers dropping some comments. Please follow us on YouTube. So this episode, if you didn't see it live, it's gonna be on YouTube, and also we on Spotify. Subscribe to our Spotify channel. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We here to have a great time. Like I said, it's not script. It's just us bring in some topics and talk about it. Just like today, we kind of change. We talk about basketball a little bit. So, but we just want to let Alex generation know that let's kind of pump the brakes on the goat, man. We can't just label everybody goats. So that's one thing I would ask Alex generation to kind of ease on. Uh, Too many goats, man. I mean, too many goats. Let's pump up the grits on the label of goats, on the goat label. But anyway, so you guys have a great week. Once again, thank you, Alain. Thank you, Alex, for everything you guys been doing for the show. So until next time, you guys have a good night.